Oh boy, has Chrystia Freeland ever mastered the art of the non-answer. Now, before we get into that, I want to talk about the Reclaiming Canada conference. It's happening on June 21st through 23rd in Victoria, British Columbia. And the roster is getting larger by the day. Many more people being added to the list. Of course, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can get tickets for the event. But here's Marty up north talking about being added to the list of speakers who will be there. He's saying, I'm scheduled for the Reclaiming tech and media portion with my buddy Clyde Do Something, as well as Tamara Leach, Adria Humphrey, and Zuby Music. Looking forward to it. The organizers are aiming for 1,500 attendees, and I'm sure they'll get there. This could very well be the largest conference of its type in Canada. So if you haven't heard of it, go check out the link in the description down below. And if you want to get tickets, well, that's where you can get them, at that link. Let's get into this. Honda recently has been given a whole whack of cash from the Canadian taxpayer to bring in jobs. And of course, being criticized for this is Kirk Lubimov on X, saying Honda is the latest company to be showered with Canadian tax dollars. They will get $2.5 billion from the federal government and $2.5 billion from the Ontario government, for a total of $5 billion for an investment of $15 billion. It will create up to 1,000 jobs. That equals $5 million per job. That's correct. And of course, as soon as those numbers came out on the announcement, reporters were just dumbfounded by this, and even asked the question of Trudeau and Doug Ford, seriously, only 1,000 jobs?
So just to be clear, no one's willing to answer the question specifically. How many jobs are being created, and what is the cost for the government deal?
If you're not going to listen to the answer of it saying 1,000 jobs created, then there's nothing we can do for you.
So there's nothing we could do for you. No, this is a massive thing. Yeah, people want to know how many jobs are going to be created. So in their next announcement, they just decide not to answer these questions and just leave it in the dark. Taxpayers, you're not going to find out how much with this latest announcement. Canada's next EV supply chain plant landing in Port Colborne, Ontario. Joint venture between Asahi Kasei Corp and Honda Canada will build Canada's first lithium-ion separator plant, and it's going to cost $15 billion in investments. The announcement saying $15 billion in investment from the two companies, but they're not saying exactly how much is going to come from the taxpayer. Now, the federal government and provincial governments each contributed $2.5 billion in tax credits and other government incentives. We're not sure exactly what those ones are, to attract Honda's business to Ontario amid fierce global competition for new electric vehicle manufacturing investments. No, what happens is when you start handing out money to these investors before they come to your country, well, none of them will come, and no further ones will come without getting a big handout as well. And that's what you put that on the table, and that's what they're going to ask for immediately. It all started with Volkswagen giving them about $13 billion to bring a plant here to Canada. And well, I mean, I said it at the time, no one else is going to come without a handout now. Now, reporters want to know, asking Chrystia Freeland, how much are we actually giving out for this?
CBC News is now reporting that Honda Canada's investment in southwestern Ontario will include $1 billion lithium-ion separator facility in Port Colborne. How much will the federal government be contributing specifically to this plant, and how many jobs and economic spin-offs for the Niagara region are you counting on in return?
So before she answers it, just look at the smug face as she's getting ready to not answer the question. It really is disgusting.
Jobs and economic spin-offs for the Niagara region are you counting on in return?
Okay, thank you for that question. And one of the reasons that I am so happy to be here in St. Thomas is to see with my own eyes a community that has not too long ago experienced a really devastating economic blow, a community that knows what it is to lose jobs and to be feeling like you're in decline, to now be a community that is vigorously growing. It's wonderful to see, and you can see it on the street. And we really believe, when you think about what is our economic plan, our economic plan is fairness for every generation, with a particular focus on millennials and Gen Z. It is about investing in housing. It is about investing in making life more affordable. It is about investing in economic growth and doing all of that in a fiscally responsible way. And I think what you're seeing in St. Thomas with, VW, jobs, a community growing a future, and at the same time social infrastructure like this amazing daycare center, to me that epitomizes our economic plan in action and what we need across the country.
I hate to say it, but that was just verbal diarrhea. That didn't do anything to answer the question at hand, talking about fairness for every generation. How about fairness for the generation that's going to have to pay for all of this? The unborn, as you're borrowing and printing money to make these things happen. Now, there's a user on Twitter here that just nails it. He nails it. This is the point of view. You asked Chrystia Freeland a question, what she had for lunch. This is the art of the non-answer.
First of all, I want to thank you for that question. I think it raises a really important topic of discussion. It opens up a very important conversation about what lunch means to all of us in 2024. When we look to our childhoods, when we ate lunch at 11 a.m., today, many people would consider that a late breakfast. And just yesterday, I had lunch at 1:30 in the afternoon, which some people would consider an early dinner. And I think as we look toward the future of what lunch can mean, I'm just so proud of what we have accomplished. While also acknowledging that it is important to not disregard what lunch has meant in the past. But we're working really hard towards finding
an answer to the question. We're working really hard to find an answer to that question. But that is, of course, the art of the non-answer. Now, in Canada, Chrystia Freeland believes that all auto manufacturers want to come here because they want to spend more money on taxes. That's the incentive of coming to Canada. You're just going to get taxed more, so why don't you bring your business over here?
The investments that Canada is attracting today are coming to Canada in large part because foreign investors recognize that we have a price on pollution and we have a strong climate plan. And that means they want to be here and make stuff here in Canada and create good jobs here in Canada.
Wow, they want to come here to get taxed. That's it. That's it. Now, DEI, this diversity, equity, inclusion stuff, in the corporate world, there is some truth to that. If they come here and pay taxes, they get benefits. It is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense fiscally, but this is the reality of it. Now, the Liberal Party is boasting about making 900,000 jobs in Canada, beating expectations. The unemployment rate holds steady. But many jobs, pointing out here by Janice49 on X, many jobs are part-time, not full-time. 90,000 jobs is nothing when Trudeau brings in 1 million people into Canada every year. Plus, student and illegals need jobs. Don't insult the Canadian people's intelligence by thinking they believe your lies. Shame on you. Trudeau has to go. And Trudeau giving a lesson on what they've been doing about the housing crisis right here. And that's very fitting. Absolutely. But I'd love to leave this one with you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about adding more to the Canadian tax burden by bringing in incentives to have EV vehicles being made in Canada. Are EVs even the future? That's yet to be seen, as we've seen what happens in our cold climate when EVs are your only thing you can rely on. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.